So in Cuba, 1960s to actually the present day, grocery stores are city owned. They're run by the government. What you have are decades of rationing, the persistent store shortages and periodic cuts to rations. The reason for this is state government just is not an efficient business, right? Government, you look at any government, they run on bureaucracy where people are just paid a regular paycheck. You're not incentivized to work harder. There's like pay structures that you have to hit, and they're not tied to your actual performance of the business unit that you're running. The government's promotion is tied to years of service. So the longer you stay there, where the longer you participate in their pension, that's how you get paid more. It is not tied to how efficiently you're running your business. So because of that, what you see is people just do the bare minimum. They clock in and clock out. And I'm not trying to throw shade on any federal or state employees. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just looking at history. And if you look at Cuba, one of the things you can learn is that their grocery stores are not efficiently run. And when you put that emphasis on a government entity to do that, the downside of it is you don't have entrepreneurs that step in and find new and innovative ways of running their stores, right? You don't have like a prime example is in Philadelphia, you have a lot of Indian grocery stores that grew up in the seven or sorry the and you saw a lot of competition that happened, and because there was competition, prices were lower, but your supplies were higher. So you have people that would go into different grocery stores just to buy particular items, and that helped the actual industry flourish. When you have a city-owned grocery store, that doesn't happen anymore. Prices are leveled off, and unfortunately, like the supply won't be there to satisfy the need because there's no need for the supply. You would need to have infrastructure built within New York City to do grocery stores, right? That's controlled by the city. Unless New York City is planning to go into farming, planning to go into dairy farm, agriculture or cattle farming, it just does not make sense. So then you need to pay more money for the same amount of stuff that now you're going to charge your population at a discount. Like the finances does not make sense there.
And so I think the key issue is stuff is expensive, right? And I think that's an issue that both parties have not answered well. And so this idea of the city-run grocery store has a lot of fanfare and a lot of attraction for that reason. The underlying theory behind it, though, providing a store where there's no property taxes or rent because it's in the city-owned buildings, I think would adversely affect the many immigrant-owned small businesses in New York City. And so I think that would be an unintended effect of this. Now, if you look at a successful example of a city-run grocery store, there's a supermarket called St. Paul's Supermarket in St. Paul, Kansas. It was successful, but it was a small town. The city took over a store that was there for over 20 years, and it was a sole provider of groceries in the region. And so that was successful, but I don't think would translate well to a big city. I think a better solution is if we really want to drive down the cost of food and groceries, provide incentives for small businesses to move into the city,
Absolutely
taxes,
agree.
eliminate different types of regulations that are preventing stores from setting up. Right now, you have tons of red tape, tons of regulation, tons of bureaucracy. Make that easier for businesses to go in and set up the stores. Another position he talks about. Sorry, go ahead.
You made a really good point, and I want to highlight that. The problem with New York City and Philadelphia and these major cities is there is no incentive for the small business to get involved in it. And then you put on top of it all of the unions that are associated with just getting cargo into the city, moving that stuff around. There's so much red tape, not just from bureaucracy, but unions and labor forces, contracts, negotiation. It is a mess to try to start a grocery store in Philadelphia or New York City. You have health inspectors that will come in, and unless you pay them somehow and give them a logical reason to actually allow you to do the store, they're not going to do it. I'm not saying that those things are not needed. I'm saying that over time, these things have gotten so bloated that it's impossible to do business there. You got to fix that.